Good day, YouTube. It is the 5th of September 2023, and this finally on the lift is my 1955 Cushman Truckster. I have had this machine since I started this YouTube channel, maybe around 6 years ago. Some of the earliest videos I have are getting this running back then. Actually got a little bit of work done on it, and then it got pushed back for other projects, and then this year started out my first full year being retired. I was doing a lot of lawn and garden tractor stuff. I love working on them, generators and things like that. And I just came to the realization is I bought all these projects to work on them when I retire, and I'm not working on them. So I finished up mowers and stuff in attempt to get out of the mower business, and that is my intent, is to kind of be out of the business. I'm sure I will do a couple occasionally because I do love to work on them, but this machine, I lacked direction. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, but it wasn't hurting anything. Just it was sitting inside the shop here, just waiting for inspiration. My dad and my nephew and I spent 11 days on the road following a IMCA dirt track tour, hitting a lot of the dirt tracks in Oregon and even one in Washington. We were camping along the way. I hauled the golf cart, one that I fixed up here on the channel, to every track, and we got into the pit area before and after the races every day, and really got a glimpse of how the race teams were equipped. And I gained inspiration from some of the better funded teams that had ATVs that were built into pit carts, a vehicle with toolbox built on the rear, a place to put hydraulic jacks. They could change tires, a rack on the top so they could haul tires, and maybe a way to haul fuel. And that gave me inspiration for this vehicle, what to do with this vehicle. Now, I have no intention to modify this very much. I'm not going to be a stickler for originality, but my intent is to leave it original. I think it's super cool. I really do. I'm trying to find parts availability for this thing. I remember when I first got it, there was a few things I could find, but boy, it is more miss than hit now. I think engine-wise, because this has the 8 horsepower Husky engine that Cushman built, I'd be okay engine-wise. And I do want to use this engine. As far as I know, it's in perfectly good condition. I've had it running a couple times. A couple periods of time, and it runs fine. In fact, it's going to run here very, very soon. This has a very rare electric start. Most of these, well, I would say 99.9% of them did not have electric start. This one does. That's very cool. You can buy a kit to electric start your Cushman. I did see that on a website last night, and that's a $1,200 investment plus installation. And I don't want to spend the moon on this thing, but I do want to use it as it was built for the most part. The fenders, as you can see, are gone, and it's one of the projects that I look forward to the most, I guess, is building fenders for this. I have a feeling that the battery was stored on that fender. You can see the ground cable that's there. I didn't put that there. And it's all rotted away. Hopefully it hasn't damaged the bed too much, but if it did, let's just say that bed is not as usable as I think it is. I think it's the same as that one. So I haven't put a tape measure to it, but I'll sacrifice that machine for this machine. You know what? I think that other bed is longer now that I look at the position of the fender. This bed is about 35 inches by 35 inches. I'm going to go measure that other one. Yeah, the other bed is 10 inches longer. But I don't know if that'll really hurt us any. Obviously, we can't change the wheelbase. We can't move the bed forward. So it would just be 10 inches longer. As long as we don't put too much weight back there, I think we'd be fine if I have to use it. This one's probably still repairable. I might have to do a little extra work on it, but still repairable. So, what's the plan, you ask? Well, here's roughly what my thoughts are. Okay, I've done the front end, cleaned up the brakes and stuff. The cable and the handle, as old as they are, they're not working very good. There's not much action on that front brake, so got to do that. The rear brake has a cable assembly, a lot like an emergency brake cable on a vehicle. In fact, this could be it right there, here. And it's frozen. At the time I bought this thing, that cable was available. I do not believe it is available today. Obviously, we're going to fix the bed. We're going to build new fenders for it. The bed itself, I've got some ideas. We're going to build like a hard tunnel cover. So we're going to have a steel frame. It's going to be just above the bed rails, okay? And it's going to have a pull-out drawer. I don't know if it'll be on rollers or if it'll just be on slides, but it's going to have a pull-out drawer so I could drop the tailgate, pull a drawer out, and then there'll be, instead of, I've been looking for toolboxes, like something you could buy like at Harbor Freight or something, that you could stock tools in, but I couldn't find one that really fit well. And I just didn't like the look of one that didn't fit good. It would be too small or too big or whatever. I couldn't get over that. So I'm going to drop back to having tools in carry cases, okay? So like these couple boxes up here, for example. Okay, those are, you know, plastic toolboxes. Here's a soldering gun that I picked up the other day in a tool case. So you could pull the drawer out, grab the case you need, and take it. Say if you're in a pit area and somebody needs something, then you could just grab the socket set, or you could grab the porta power, or you could grab the soldering gun or something. Okay, so that is in the bed of this. Then there'll be a level above the bed that I want to manufacture to build like a canopy. It might be just as wide as the outside bed rail. It might come out an inch or two more and will come up, over, and back down. It might even go forward. So it's up here, right? Might go forward over the driver's compartment, or where the driver sits. You get it, right? Just to offer a little bit of sun and or rain protection for the driver. And then on the sides of this, call it a canopy, it'll open up. Okay, it'll open up, it'll be lit, and I would like to have a counter that drops down, so you could, like, if you're working on something, for example, you got a brake rotor or bearings or a water pump or something, you have a little work surface that comes down, hangs on chains, right? You fold it up and then fold the lid down. But it'll be, you know, an LED light above you can see, and that will be the same on both sides. In here somewhere I will fit a generator and an air compressor, and that is actually why I picked up, let's walk over here, that's why I picked up a couple non-Honda generators. I picked them up because it's hard for me to dedicate one of my Hondas to something like this, but one of these will probably pull that duty. Those are 2,000 watt inverter generators, and I'm not sure exactly where those will mount. One of those will mount, or which one I'll use, but anyway, I haven't got those running yet. So regardless, this is going to be a long-term project. It's going to be many episodes on this. There's a lot of things I got to figure out. One of the things I got to figure out is, even though I got a 12-volt battery in this thing is 1955, there really wasn't much such a thing as 12-volt starters. In fact, there is an emblem on that starter right there that I should have a look at, but I'm sure it's 6-volt. Now, 6-volt starters will run on 12 volts if you don't crank the daylights out of them. Don't overheat them. They'll be okay. They'll last a while. But that might be a starter generator. I'm not sure, but it has gears that engage a flywheel. If you know anything about that, let me know. It's not a Bendix. It doesn't go in and out. So if that is in fact a starter generator, then what I have is a 6-volt starter that's going to generate 6 volts to charge a 6-volt battery. If that's the case, I may not change that. We may let this engine run on 6 volts. So yeah, we'll see. It should have a magneto type ignition in it. We're not running an ignition module or anything like that. There are upgrades available for this thing, but I'm not sure where that's headed yet. So lots and lots to figure out. It could be that I run bare bones 6-volt lighting and then have some 12-volt lighting that run on a separate 12-volt battery, and it may be big enough to, we'll charge it off the generator, and we may have an inverter in here or something like that to run a few things, and the 12-volt lights, the LED lights, that kind of thing. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we're doing here. And this thing will evolve. Plans will change. I'll find something that's cool and then kind of go from there. I think first thing we're going to do, though, is I actually reviewed my old videos. You should find them. I probably have a playlist on my channel that says 55 Cushman Truckster or something like that. And I was having fuel delivery issues. So I think I'm going to pull that the glass sediment bowl and just make sure everything is good there. Make sure the tank's pretty clean. It is pretty clean. It looks like it might hold a couple gallons. Let's get it cleaned out and make sure the lines are clear. And we'll throw some seafoam down it first off, and then we'll put some gas in it. And we'll get this thing running again. Get it running reliably again. So we can, shop drive it, if you will. And then we'll start digging in, and we'll see what we want to do next. I know I want to tear into these fenders. I want to make sure the body's usable. Or, if we got to put some patch panels in it, so be it. It's not that big a deal. We'll do that. So, all right. So let me get started. I'll get that sediment bowl taken off. We'll get it clean. Get some fuel in it. Let's see if this thing will still run after it's been sitting for a couple, 3 years. Not running. A couple years anyway, I think. All right. I'll check back with you. Okay. I have cleaned out the sediment bowl. I filled the sediment bowl with seafoam and then screwed it back on. That's to give the carburetor a shot of straight seafoam. And then I put probably 1.5 gallons of gas in the tank. Okay. No leaks. That's good. I'm going to see if she'll start. I'm going to set you over here. Last time this ran, I did a video on it. That was like a few years ago, I think. I think it's out of gear. So choke is here. The key switch that I rigged over here. What are you gonna do, buddy? Here we go. I'd say the battery needs a little help. Why I didn't have it on the charger the whole time, I don't know. Alright, I see a little bit of fuel drippage. It's not horrible. We're gonna try again. charger's on it, but it hasn't had much time to charge. But here we go anyway. In gear. I don't know if you know how these clutches work, but you push the clutch pedal in like a normal car, you can put it in gear, and you let it out, it doesn't go anywhere. It has a centrifugal clutch built into it also, but when you rev it, then the clutch engages. Pretty cool actually, the way it works. Let her warm up. I'll bring you back. Yes, restart. If you want to know more how I did the key switch, I have a real early video on my channel. It's probably in a playlist that says 55 Cushman on how I wired that up. It's just temped in for the minute, but until while we work on this thing, we'll find better, more permanent places for the wiring and etc. So I'm going to leave this up, keep this sediment bowl out of fuel, and because it's leaking a little, might just need a little tightening on that screw. I retightened the screw on the bottom of the sediment bowl, but when you roll this thing forward, the fuel goes away from the pickup tube. It's really not a pickup tube, from the hole in the bottom of the tank. Wow, guys, it fired right up. I knew it would start, but I didn't know it would start that easy. It's the second time in the last week or two that the first thing I did was throw seafoam down into the carburetor before I put gas in it. This sediment bowl has a shut-off valve, so the last time I run this, I shut the fuel off, so it didn't have anything in there, which is a good way to store it. I don't see anything dripping. I think that got it good. Put a whole turn on that screw so it wasn't super tight. You got to be careful, it's glass. So now I need to absorb this for a little while and figure out where to start. Getting it running is a good thing. I need to do a little research. I need to look at that starter, and if it's a starter generator, then that'll tell me where I'm headed as far as what I'm going to do to the engine electrically. Okay, so does it need to have a 12-volt charge coils? Those are available, but I don't need to go that way. If I don't have to go that way, I might leave it original as long as that thing works. So lots and lots to look at, to think about, make decisions on, so we go forward correctly. Probably we're going to start on the fenders. I've been looking forward to building those fenders for a long time. I have a sheet metal brake and a shear and such. I think those would be a lot of fun to build new ones. So I think that's the direction we're going to go. But guys, we got this thing on the lift finally. Got some other projects out of the way so this thing can be next. Got a lot of other stuff going on too. Got some before winter sets in projects at the house to get done and things like that. So guys, I appreciate you watching the videos. Give this video a thumbs up. Come back to the playlist and watch some of the real older videos when I first got this and got it running and driving. It does drive, it just doesn't stop very good. And but there's going to be hopefully a lot happening with this in the weeks and months to come. So awesome. All right, guys, appreciate you watching again, and do comment on these videos and any videos. I check the comments every morning, almost every morning, and we'll respond to you, so that'll be awesome. Leave a comment. I'll see you tomorrow.